Hey, it's Samantha Taylor at Pure Health and Fitness Studios, and I wanted to make a quick video for you about really the rest of the year and kind of mindset and how do you stay focused and how do you not let these next couple of weeks turn into an all-out eating fest where most people get sick because their immune system is suppressed because they've eaten a bunch of junk or had a lot of stress. So, I really started to do something different with the holidays, and I would say, okay, just because it's a holiday doesn't mean that I need to pig out and eat whatever I want and have no restraint on not putting a bunch of garbage in my body. So I started to really practice when I would go to Thanksgiving dinner. I would enjoy myself. I would have some stuff, but I wouldn't gorge. And that was a big difference for me because if you know anything about me, I used to be a binger. I would eat thousands of calories at a time, and I'm talking like 5,000 calories. So for me to go to a holiday dinner where there's a lot of food and just have self-control, that's not something that was normally on my plate. So it's something that I just really made a decision about 3 or 4 years ago to say, okay, just because it's my birthday or just because it's Christmas or just because it's all these different holidays, I don't have to use it as an excuse to pig out. See, because the problem is this: if you get in that habit, one day is not just one day. It turns into, days and days of doing that, and then weeks, and all of a sudden a month goes by and you've been eating all this junk because of all these habits. So what I think, and this is what I started doing, a lot of people think, oh, when the new year comes, I'm just gonna, be on track, I'm gonna be ready to go, like the clock is gonna strike 12 and all of a sudden you're gonna have all this amazing self-control, like this fairy tale. But if you've had all these bad habits all the way up until the day that the ball drops at 12 o'clock, then how are you all of a sudden just going to click it on? And I think that that's why most people are not successful with goals that they set. So that's one thing I wanted to have you think about. You may be watching this video, 2 weeks out before the new year. You may be watching it a couple of days before the new year. The point is it's a mindset. If you can start thinking and getting your head in the mindset of starting to have some discipline. Think about self-control. Think about the fact that you can make wise decisions. You are a smart, wise individual that has, a spirit. You're not just some dog that has to jump on every impulse of a smell that you smell or an impulse of a commercial, or just because someone baked brownies and brought them to work doesn't mean you have to eat them. So that's where, because I used to be such a food addict and impulse driven, totally compulsive, I would see food, I'd have to eat it. I would see a commercial in the middle of the night and I would have to get up and go get the food. I was so impulsive. So that's one thing that I've learned is stop being so impulsive. Just stop. Like when you see a temptation or you have a trigger, stop. Think about what's going on. Just think. Don't let yourself just react like a dog jumping on a steak that fell on the ground. You can think about, okay, do I really want to eat this? What is the outcome? I bet you'll agree with me. How many times, or let me put it this way, most of the time that you pig out at a restaurant and you really eat, are you like, yes, I am so glad I did that. I feel great. No, normally you're not. I waited tables for 10 years. I watched people and they were like, oh my God, I feel so full. I feel so disgusting. That is normally what happens. So I'm talking about, really no restraint, just going off and eating whatever you want. The point is to say, hey, I'm all about having fun and enjoying food, but do you want to feel horrible? Do you want to feel tired? Do you want to feel gross and bloated and disgusting and hard to get out of bed the next day? Because that's what's going to happen if you overeat that food. And that's one thing that I learned with the food challenges I had, is how to look at the consequence of my action and not just, oh, the flavor is great, because once the flavor is over, it's over. The flavor's gone. It's gone. You only got it for a few minutes and now you're left with the aftermath. And I have to tell you, when I learned 9 years ago how to stop playing that game, man, I have so much freedom with food now, it's ridiculous, and it's so awesome. Food is food, it's no big deal. I can eat it, I can, do not gorge on it. It's just so much freedom. So I wanted to kind of get you thinking about that, because the new year's coming, and you know what, you might have seen this video after the new year. Maybe you didn't even watch this email until then, or look at this video until then, but it is a mindset, because you do not have to be so impulsive, and think about, okay, I can start developing self-control. What I'd encourage you to do is pick one area in your life, just one thing that you are not exercising self-control right now, or no discipline, and just start working on that. Think about it. If you start working on that little by little, by the time the new year gets here, or even when the new year happens, you have started to develop a habit of self-discipline. It's like a muscle, and the more you work it, the stronger it gets. So I encourage you to start thinking about that stuff, and I'm telling you, freedom, freedom, freedom is so wonderful when you are not in bondage to food and how it controls your life. So you might be a client watching this, and you might not be a client. If you're not a client and you want to become a client, you can click the link below and check out my website, or if there's not a link, you can go to purehealthstudios.com and set up a body transformation analysis with me so that you can get the results that you want. Check out the before and afters on that website. Wow, they're so inspiring about what other women have accomplished. So I'm Samantha Taylor, and I will see you soon, hopefully at one of my upcoming seminars. Bye-bye.